Hey everyone, I'm going to do another really short video. I'm going to do a little bit more on that base that I have for Typhus. Basically, this is where I left it. Everything's nice and dry. It's been several days now since I worked on that. I think I had a couple extra videos in between. So really, I'm going to paint, and that's about it for this one. So really, it's just acrylic paints. Base. Here's my nice little palette thingy. My little water. It's kind of gross right now, but it's still not too dirty. I'm going to use a Vallejo Flat Earth for the base color. Actually, you know what? I have this really cool German black brown because he is Typhus and he is death and decay. Sorry about that. I'm facing away from the camera, looking around to my bins for stuff. So what I'm going to use is this. It's Vallejo. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Pardo Negro. But basically, it is just German black brown. I like how dark this is. I use this a lot as a base for boots, other darker browns, or even regular browns. So if you use a tricolor kind of painting methods, it works really good. Um, like dark brown up to a burnt umber up to like a leather brown. So the other thing I wanted to do was I wonder where it is. I need the bottle cap that I had, which for some reason right now, you know where it is? I have it right here. It's on the chaplain. I'm going to break the chaplain off of that. He was just super glued on. That super glue would be enough to hold him. I want the bottle cap, and I want a little bit of blue tack. So here's the blue tack. I already got a clump of it. I'm going to shove that on there, and I'm going to shove the base on here. Now, if you don't mind more paint on your fingers than the average bear, well, it's not that bears ever have paint on their fingers, but anyway, you can just hold it by the base and paint too. I find it's kind of nice just to have a little bit of a thing at the bottom of it, just so you can grab it and twirl it. I'm going to leave the paint out because I don't think that's going to be quite enough. So I have this really handy dandy, I have no idea what these brushes are called, but they're really stiff. They're from Walmart. They're super cheap. I really like it because they're good for um, dabbing paint into things, like, have that ballast on here right now. So really it's just like that. I think we're going to trademark my stupid sound effects. Not really. That'd be just weird. And I'm sure a lot of other people have even weirder sound effects. But I don't bother brushing side to side. I just kind of mush this in. It's non-dry brushing. These stiff bristles make it so you can do that really easy. I'm going to paint everything on there that dark brown. A little bit more. Get a little bit of water on my brush. Sorry, my water's up here. Would be kind of nice. I don't know if you really care to see everything. Listen, that's why there's a comment section. If you want to make comments, feel free to. I always like to learn, and I'm hoping that some of you are learning a little bit of this, my techniques. Not that they're anything unique, but it is how I do things. You'll see a weird mix of ideas, hopefully layering, washing, things that I've learned over the years, things that frankly other people have taught me. I still watch videos of painters all the time. Probably my biggest favorite thing of watching is the Warhammer channel on Twitch. Watching some Golden Demon um, quality painters do their work to see, what they have. Some not so much. Some people just really enjoying streaming and showing what they do. Maybe some of you'll see me on there, but right now I'm a lot more comfortable just doing this, talking and splatting paint, putting together things. The other two things that I did get in the mail. I have a slight problem with shopping. I get something in my head and I just want to buy it. So, I'll drive myself batty until I do. So I did get the Primark, that Reboot Guilliman, however you want to pronounce that. And I got Marnius Kelgard and his Beatrix Guard, which, you know, I've always liked Marnius. Reboot is a new one to me because that's about where I stopped, was third edition. I don't even know if I'd read anything about Primarchs at that point. So relatively new into this, returning back to everything. Well, okay, take a look at that. While I was babbling and we were doing this, covered up pretty nicely, and it's a good, dark, ugly, earthy color, in my opinion. I'll do some dry brushing to bring that up, but that'll be when that dries. I think the other thing I can do tonight, if you don't mind, is, well, if I don't mind, I'm going to set this to the side to dry, rinse out my brush. These brushes, as I said, they're not high quality. They will shred after a couple uses. I have a larger one that I use. That's probably about 8 or 9 uses so far. It's been doing okay. I suppose the other thing you could do is dry brushing with this, but I think those bristles are going to be too thick. You're going to get a really weird streaky effect with your dry brushing, but you could do it. I do dry brushing on certain things. Excuse me while I turn and try to find what else I was looking for. I am going to do the primer on those 10mm Civil War miniatures that my brother sent me that I based for painting the other night. Really, it's just grabbing back my brush on primer, and I'm not going to use that same brush. The bristles are too thick, but go back to that brush. It's another cheap Walmart one, not super high quality. I think that the most high quality I have is I have one Winter Newton fine. It is a really good brush. I enjoy it. I just don't feel like spending, upwards of $15 a brush. The only reason I bought that one was because it was on sale and I wanted to see what was going on with them. The people who recommend that type of brush, they're quite right. That material, let me try to think. Red Sable, something like that, is really, really good for fine details. The bristles have lasted forever. I think I've had that brush for over 2 years. Haven't had any issues with it. I do have a brush cleaner. Anyway, you do really need to thin out that brush on primer that I have. It's just that strizine stuff that I was talking about when I was priming Typhus. It's a little bit of let me think. Sorry about that. It is airbrush thinner and that strizine, about probably 1:4, 1:5 ratio, just to thin it out there. And then I'm finding you really still have to thin it out even more. I don't like solid black. I don't think you really need solid. It's more important that you have a good base for your paint to stick to or adhere to, plastics especially. I use primer on everything though, metals and plastics. Oops, there we go. Let's drop that all over the place. Luckily, no, not luckily. At least it wasn't on my pants, I should say. I don't think this will come out of my pants, so I'd have a that'd be kind of fun. Rows of Civil War infantry blobs on my jeans. I think it'd be hilarious. We used to do stuff like that when I was in college. I thought I was all hip and cool, drawing things on my jeans and coats and everything. Art major, I think that was, hey, let's do something. Not anymore. Sadly, I grew up in kind of a, less imaginative or less like that than I was. I mean, at least I still like crafting. and enjoy it. Sometimes I kind of wish I'd be back into drawing and, the actual painting and stuff that I started out with in college. But life gets in the way, and I just don't find that I enjoy that quite as much as I used to. I still have everything I need, the nice pencils and sketch pads. I think I even still have my drawing board from college sitting around here somewhere. I think we used it to put together puzzles last time I pulled it out. But again, I don't use it. And it kind of sits there. It's just like pretty much everything. In middle of college, I decided I'd switch over to a psych major, so graduated with that and found my career path was working with intellectually disabled adults, which led to my current job, which is okay. It's not quite as fun as direct contact and working with people. I'm more on the administrative end of things now, but I do like the people I can connect with and the reviews of plans and authorizing budgets. But anyway, enough of that. That is it. There we go. They are set to prime. Well, they are primed. Set to dry while they prime. You know what? Let me grab. Let's see how much time do I have. We're only at 11:35. Let me try priming one of the strips while it's on the sprue. I think I was talking a little bit about that last time. Well, I know I was. That I've seen some people just paint them straight on the frame like that. I said I'm not a huge. Well, honestly, I've never tried it, so I can't say I'm not a huge fan of it. So I figured might as well. I think maybe it'd be easier the way I'm doing this. I'm going to cut two groups of them out like this. And I'll use those two. I'll prime those and try painting them like that just to see how much of a difference that makes. It probably won't make that much of a difference, but well, there is a little more control, it feels like. Said when you're done, or when I'm done with this, I'll still have to cut them off the sprue, which means I'll have to touch up where that attaches at the shoulders. Bottom of the base doesn't matter. It's kind of too bad they didn't figure a way just to put this, the sprue gates on the bottom and not worry about, so you wouldn't have to worry about this. So that stuff goes on pretty quickly. You can still see some of the blue showing through. That's not really a big concern. These ones, I will do pre-shading. If you know what pre-shading, or if you don't know, let me say, if you don't know what pre-shading is, basically, it's taking this black primer and then you dry brush white once everything's dry. That kind of gives you a little bit of a highlight, because the dry brush will pick out the edges, the high parts. Rather than doing washes and layering of paint. Things this small don't lend itself real well to layering. You can do it. I just don't know, at this scale, especially with people's eyesight in general, if it's really worth the time. You can do the tricolor stuff. You can do the, mixing white in to increase highlight, increase the values, or I should say adjust the values. I'll probably end up doing a little bit of everything on this just because it's hard to break certain styles if you're used to a particular way. Lately, I do a mix of, well, predominantly, I should say, I do a mix of the tricolor and then the adding white to increase the value of a particular color so you can see it a little bit more. Well, give it the highlights and everything. So there we are. That's that group. Time to lay that down and let that dry. I'm going to put it on a paper towel since it really isn't going to stand super well like the popsicle stick group. Wash this out really good. And that will be tonight. Again, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate your time. Till next time, we'll see what I do then. All right. Thank you. Bye.